Right, if you guys are like me and you are planning to travel to a lot of countries for free without paying any of the ridiculous luggage prices, and you want to travel around with just a carry-on, this is going to save you guys so much money. There is a zipper on there and you can stuff your clothes inside and it looks like a normal headrest, allowing you to take more on board than you can. It worked for me. They didn't really say a thing. There wasn't any issues. So if you guys are interested, the link is going to be in the description. And also, if you do use my link, I do get a bit of money for it too. So you'll be helping me out too. But I'm definitely going to be using this for the rest of my travels. I put like 3 jeans, socks, and like my boxers in there. It fits so much, and it was actually pretty useful for the flight too. I used that as like a pillow. Right, no need to skip ahead. I am going to get right into it. These are all the Marrakesh scams and dangers you need to know about before you head out there. My name's Zephyr, and welcome to my video. Number 1 is a direction scam. In the souks, I know it's not called souks, it's like socks or something. I say souks. Okay, let's just, alright, cool. There will be times when you have no signal, and if you're lost, you might think it's wise to ask the locals for directions. But in Marrakesh, some locals will tell you where to go and then expect payment at the end of it for helping you get to your destination. Some may even try to convince you, saying that they're going to tell you where to go for free and stuff like that, but then get aggressive and demand payment at the end. I've heard of stories like that. I'd say if you need to ask for directions, go to restaurants. I'm very good at navigating and I tend to not lose where I go, so I didn't get lost there in the markets. But yeah, if you do, I'd say just look for like fancy restaurants and stuff like that and ask one of the workers there. Okay, now the monkey and the snake scam. First, let's start off with the snake scam. These guys will immediately try to put a snake on you. You must refuse. Do not do anything until you've agreed on a price and shaken on it. And do not take a picture either. They will get aggressive and charge you for that too. They will use God and religion and anything they can to get the most out of you as well. I gave 100 dirhams. It's probably more than what I should give, but it's a price I was willing to pay, and I don't want to haggle with people who are struggling. I don't mind giving extra. At the end of the day, if you want to have a snake around you and take pictures, it can be cool. I'd recommend it. Do not be scared, just be smart. And just don't do anything until you've agreed on the price. And after you've agreed on the price, towards the end, if they try to get some more money out of you and they try to get aggressive and want more, say that this is what we've agreed on and that you'll call the police. And also do call the police if they do try to harass you more. Just a quick funny story about this whole snake situation. I got my picture taken as well as a snake around my neck, and whilst this was going on, one of the other snake charmers approached one of my friends and got his phone from him to take a picture of the snakes for my friend. When I saw this, I told him, like, why did you let him take your phone? You know he's gonna charge you for that, right? He's like, no, don't worry, he didn't say anything about payment. Like, he didn't say anything. He said he's not gonna charge me or something like that. He said something along those lines, and surely after he took the picture, he tried to go and charge him, and they were like having a little argument for like a while, saying you didn't say anything, you didn't say you was gonna charge me, you said it was for free, blah blah blah. And then that's when they tried to use like religion and God and all these things to try to persuade him to give the money. At the end of the day, my friend just gave 20 and we just walked away. Now, when it comes to the monkey guys, I'd actually advise you guys to avoid them. The snakes don't have any venom. The government like sort of takes care of that, make sure that they don't have any venomous snakes around there to actually harm any of the tourists or anything. So they aren't really of any threat to you. The monkeys, on the other hand, now these monkeys are pretty much treated poorly. They're in the sun. They're like, I'm guessing they get abused as well. So they're pretty aggressive towards humans. The monkey will sit on your shoulder. It can scratch your face. It can pull your hair. It can do a lot more as well. And also, if the guy doesn't get the payment he wants, and let's say he wants more, he will just leave the monkey on you while the monkey does all these things, so you can pay more to get the monkey off you. Right, next up is the pickpocketers. In the souks, it reminds me of that Ricky Gervais joke, souk me. Oh my god. Anyway, in the souks and in the streets of Marrakesh, there are a lot of motorbikes within the narrow streets of the market as well. Now, the souks are really packed with tourists and people, and no one's gonna really rub against you or anything, but you just need to be really aware of your surroundings. Oh, and also another side note is if you're in a taxi, do not roll down your window and have your phone out taking a picture. A bike can just easily come along and steal it and just take your phone, or just a walking guy right like next to the car will just walk past and just grab your phone and take it. But yeah, as I was saying, you need to be aware of your surroundings, because especially when you're in the souks and in the markets and those narrow streets, motorbikes will beep at you for you to move to the side so they can actually get through. And this is going to happen to you a lot. Like, there's a lot of motorbikes. This isn't going to be a thing where, like, you're going to have to move to the side a lot is what I'm trying to say. So don't be there putting on your earphones, listening to music, having no care in the world, because this isn't the time or place for that, unfortunately. Just try to be aware if someone tries to get a little too close for you. Be aware of what's in your pockets and stuff like that. I took a pouch and kept it in front of me. I also purchased a case with like this neck string thingy attached to it so it doesn't like fall off. I'll leave links for these in the description. A really good pouch that I found for the cheapest price, and the neck string case thingy so you can have a better idea on what to look for yourself if I don't have your phones in the description. because I don't know what phone you're using, okay? There's plenty of phones out there. The case is really good because when you're going to do activities in Marrakesh as well, like for example, camel riding or like quad biking, it will stop your phone from leaving you dropping your phone and damaging it. You can do most of the activities with one hand. Now, next up is the taxi drivers. Now, the minimum a taxi can charge you is 50 dirhams, if I remember correctly. That is the minimum, and it can never ever go below that, even for the shortest trip. When it comes to prices and taxis, it should come to like no surprise when I tell you that these guys will overcharge you, like especially if they know you're a tourist. Someone charged us like 130 dirhams. We said, okay, thank you, bye. We went to the taxi behind and we got charged like 60 dirhams. Literally 2 steps away from each other. That was the price difference, which is just ridiculous. Same again with this scam. Do not enter the taxi before agreeing and shaking on it. I know a lot of, I'm going to say it, but a lot of Americans just think that this is America where you could just hop into a taxi, say, take me there, and then, you know, unfortunately, this isn't that kind of place. And if you just do that, if you just get into they'll charge you wherever the heck they want. We used an app called InDrive, which is basically the Uber for Marrakesh. We always got like a good cheap taxi price for it, and it was prices that we were comfortable with paying. I'd recommend downloading that too. Yeah, for the most part, we avoided taxis, and that's okay. Now the clubbing and dating apps and, you know, just that kind of stuff. We used Hinge and Bumble and, you know, a few other dating apps too, like Tinder and stuff like that as well. But unfortunately, it turns out that there's a lot of workers on these apps. And no, I'm not just talking about sex workers. Sure, there's sex workers too, but I'm sure you already know that. If you've heard anything about Marrakesh, the city is filled with them. But these are girls who work for the club to dance around and hang around and to make the club look good, like it's packed or like there's like a lot of girls in there. I have been to many clubs and I can tell that it's their job and that something just wasn't right. Another weird situation that we had was when we matched up with some girls on Hinge and Bumble and stuff like that, and they would be very adamant on picking the location, a one specific location, and they wanted us to come to this one specific bar, and they were very adamant. Even when we would say stuff like, oh, my friend's been here before, he knows a better place, we're gonna go there, like, why don't you guys come around here? They'd be very adamant onto taking us to that one particular spot. No, I'm a local, why don't you trust me? Why are you being like they'll be very aggressive, like, you need to come to that spot, basically is what they're trying to say. This is because they work for that club or restaurant or whatever, bar slash whatever you want to call these places, and once we do get there, they will do their best to make us drink like the most expensive drinks, or they would pick it themselves and expect us to pay the tab and probably just leave you with just a kiss on the cheek. If you're going to be using any dating apps and you're going to be meeting up with anyone in Marrakesh, please make sure that you pick the location yourself. And also, if you're not comfortable with paying for the bill of a lady you don't even know, if they're a sex worker or anything like that, and they want you, just make sure you make that clear beforehand to not only the workers but to the lady too. If you say to the girl and she's causing a scene, say to the workers. But honestly, I wouldn't go there in the first place anyway if I'm getting that kind of vibe from them. That's why we didn't go. If you do go clubbing, make sure you do get a look inside first before you pay for a table or anything stupid. Most clubs won't even show you inside because of how dead it is inside. There's literally no one there, and the ones that are there are workers. It's just like a whole fake environment. And I got like, we went to like one of the top clubs, and even then I think there was 3 real people, like other groups, and the rest were like AI and NPCs just there to like just act out the same script every night basically. It's not as bad as I make it sound, but we still did have a bit of fun in Marrakesh, like going clubbing and stuff like that. It definitely doesn't live up to the hype. I definitely had more fun clubbing in like Zante and stuff like that. And the timing of clubbing there is just weird. It starts at like 12 and it finishes at like 3 basically, which is just 3 hours of clubbing, which is kind of shit. Now, next up, and the last point that I would make is, to be honest, this one really isn't a scam, but it's a danger you need to be aware of. Me and my friends were chilling at the bus stop waiting for our taxi to get back home. Now, notice my friend is in his religious Muslim outfit, right? We was waiting for our taxi to return back to our Airbnb, and a man approached my friend, and they started speaking Arabic together. Now, this guy did speak for a while, and my friend was listening, and at this point, I figured he was trying to sell something, like he's giving his sales pitch at that point. And the looks my friends was giving wasn't good, and like, which already told me that something was up. I had to butt in and say like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, we don't want anything, like, taxi's almost here, like, we need to go, blah blah blah. I had to sort of stop the conversation somehow. When we got back to our Airbnb, my friend told me that he was offering him prostitutes, kids, yes, kids as well, trans, gays. He said, anything you like, I got everything, and all sorts of just madness, and anything we wanted he would do and he would willingly give us. What's scary about this is I don't think he's lying. Marrakesh is filled to the top with prostitutes. They are everywhere, in the souks. Souk Makok. Oh man, but yeah, they're filled everywhere, man. Like, even when you go to McDonald's at night, you'll see why. Just you know, when you guys are feeling hungry and you want to eat McDonald's at night, please do go to the nearest McDonald's near you and you will see what I mean. They are everywhere. You like, prostitutes are everywhere in Marrakech. Make no mistake, prostitution is illegal in Morocco, and if you do get caught with a prostitute, you will be getting arrested, or I don't know what the fine is or crime is, but you know, it's not allowed. I guess what I'm trying to say is Marrakesh is as dirty as the individual that goes there. It can be the dirtiest of cities, or it can be the most peaceful and just a normal city. Like, I can definitely see myself going there with my dad or my family, or even like if I had a sister or like, you know, my female relatives. Doesn't really pose any danger. And that's one positive that I will say about Marrakesh, is I never really felt in danger. Maybe that's because I'm a guy and we went as a group of guys. Not to flex or anything, but we were bigger than most of the guys there as well. There was always danger around us, but we never really felt in danger ourselves. If you do have any more questions about Marrakesh, please do let me know. I did try to talk fast so I can get through this quickly. You guys know what to do. Show the love, show the support. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.